let's get to Assange. The case for Julian Assange, the appeal, really they were asking to appeal, so this was kind of complicated. Essentially, he's been granted from the court case of the, it's hard to explain, sorry, I'm not doing the best job of this. But basically, they went to court asking if they could go back to court to appeal the extradition for Julian Assange. The court agreed. The ruling came out. For many of us, it would have been in the middle of the night. It was about 10:30 in the morning UK time. The ruling came out complicated. Basically, the judges said, okay, we'll buy you a little bit more time, and maybe we'll let you do a full appeal. So we're going to let you do a little appeal, and maybe, depending on what the United States says, we're going to let you do a full appeal. Basically, what this means in common tongue language, right, and just like for dummies, Julian Assange will not be extradited right now. So it's just drawn out again, as we kind of suspected it would be, this is just going to be a long, drawn-out process, and this just draws it out a little bit more. So this is specifically what the court said. The court basically said that they will allow, it's kind of a slight appeal. Essentially, they want some answers from the United States. What the judges want are assurances from the United States that Julian Assange, even though he is not an American citizen, he's an Australian citizen. And as I've brought up on this show before, we live in a world right now where our rights are tied to our nationality. Julian Assange is an Australian. He's not a U.S. citizen. So if he comes to the United States, the question is, would he be afforded the same rights as a U.S. citizen? The judges basically said, what we want to know, we're going to put his extradition on hold. We want to know what rights are they going to be affording Julian Assange. We want to ensure that he's still going to have First Amendment rights, that he is going to be treated like an American citizen, and also they want to ensure he's not going to receive the death penalty. So the court has given the United States 3 weeks to respond to this. And once the United States, if the United States does not respond to this within 3 weeks by April 16th, then Julian Assange will be granted the full appeal hearing. If the United States does provide the requested assurances that these judges have asked for, then there will be another hearing, but it's going to be a little bit more like a smaller hearing. It's not really an appeal, but there will be another hearing on May 20th to go over what the United States has provided and decide from that point forward whether or not Julian Assange could have then a full appeal. So they're basically saying, look, if the United States says nothing to us, then you will get their full appeal. If they do say something to us and we like what they say, you'll be extradited. If we don't like what they say, you'll get a full appeal. So it's still very much in limbo for Julian Assange. Just drawing this out again. I want to play for you this clip. This is what Stella Assange said outside of the courthouse, which would have been, I suppose, today or for the Brits. Right, here it is.
And the United States is abusing its legal system in order to hound and prosecute and intimidate all of you. What's at stake is the ability to publish the truth and expose crimes when they're committed by states. The outcome of this hearing today will make it clear the extent of the cover-up. The only fair, I shouldn't even talk about fairness at this stage, because the country that's trying to extradite him plotted to murder him.
And by the way, on that point of trying to murder Julian Assange, the judges pretty much just said, well, it's not really an issue if he gets extradited. You know, it's kind of a moot point. They seem to not care so much about the kidnapping and murder plot against Julian Assange. That part was a bit weird. Instead, they're just saying, well, we need some assurances he's not going to be harmed in that way. He's not going to be receiving the death penalty. We want some assurances that he's going to be receiving the same rights as what an American citizen would receive if they were to go to court there. So, but Julian Assange's wife, Stella, is right about this, that what's at stake is the ability to publish the truth and expose crimes when they're committed by states. That is what Julian Assange did, that is the supposed crime he committed, is that he exposed our government's crimes. He exposed crimes of many governments that put him on a blacklist, and they're doing everything they can and have effectively ruined his life because of it. It's a warning shot to all of us who are out here speaking up and calling out the government, basically ensuring that we remain a free people. You're not a free people if you don't have a free press. If your press is unable to expose government corruption, expose government crimes, have fruitful and thoughtful debates, then we're not a free people. And that is what Julian Assange gave us, was freedom. And for that, they took his away. We'll, of course, keep up with this story. The United States has until April 16th. I'm not sure if we will get, I'm sure we will get some, I would imagine, reports from the people from like WikiLeaks and Stella Assange on whether or not the United States responded by April 16th. However, really, it would be unclear if even they would be told whether or not the United States responded. I would imagine that they would be, but sometimes things get really tricky. So we'll keep an eye on this. April 16th is the D-Day for the United States to turn in their assurances. And then after that, we'll know if the court is going to convene again May 20th, or if Julian Assange will be granted his full appeal. So we'll keep you posted on that. Well, guys, you may be wondering, this didn't seem like a whole show. That is because you're right. This is a clip from a full show. The actual show airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. It is a 1-hour show, sometimes a bit longer. If you want to catch the whole thing, visit KimIversonShow.com and you can catch the entire show. It is free for you to watch, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can watch it anytime at your leisure. Totally free, KimIversonShow.com. Thanks for watching.